This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Happy Memorial Day from all of us at the IT and the D Show. We are sitting here recording live episode 146. We have an awesome guest lineup. We have Eric in the house talking about the I Hate Detroit blog that went viral. Should be a great conversation. We have Salathiel here talking about a steampunk con that's coming up. She's going to tell me what the heck steampunk is and why should I go. And then last but not least, PT Muldoon's in the house, the president of Homer Donaldson Company. He's been here in the past with Terry Johnson from Original Six and should have a fun conversation about turning around companies. Dave, you may fire when ready.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
This is Billy D. Williams. Bob and Dave and I are enjoying a Colt 45 right now. And remember, IT in the D, it works every time.
You're listening to the IT in the D Show.
Hi, it's Count Chocula, and you're listening to IT in the D. Whatever the hell that is.
Just where do you guys think you are? The Library of Congress? Detroit? Beyond the Sun? Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
I dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly.
Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to IT in the D Show. Wax on, you know what.
Bob loves it in the can.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka, Sweep the Leg, listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Yes, Sensei! Are we at a break yet?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds? Nerds.
Nerds! What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. The IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear, I'm in my underwear. Hey, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
That's why I like it in the can.
Which kind of scares the shit out of me.
Shut up, Barry.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. I'm a techie. I'm a nerd, fellow podcaster. My favorite podcast is IT in the D.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
We got screwed at the same time.
Yeah. Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, a Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat steak.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
My name is Michael Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man. You're listening to IT in the D.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
On behalf of everyone within the IT and the D show, we would like to honor the men and women that have fallen in the line of duty from our U.S. military protecting our freedoms. Happy Memorial Day, and welcome to the IT and the D show. This is episode 146. We are recording live in our brand new studios here at Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG.
It's still awfully beige in here. I can't wait for next week when we actually have the sound tiles up and that kind of
Work in progress. Work in progress.
Beige.
Find us online. Everything you need to know about us is at ITintheD.com. Give us a like on the Facebook. Follow us on the Twitter. Don't forget Podcast Detroit app you can download on Apple and Android. And
thank you.
Anytime. And also don't forget we are in Operation iTunes Review. Open up your iTunes, hit subscribe, leave a review. I don't care if it sucks or not. Just leave.
We're perfectly happy with 1-star worst meatball sandwich ever. Just do your thing. We don't care.
And last but not least, mark your calendars. This Friday, June the 3rd, we're going to have our 3rd anniversary party. 3 years ago to the day.
Think about that. 3 years.
I can't fathom it. It's been every Monday but 2 Mondays for 3 years.
And that means I've been on the show for a year.
A solid year.
A solid year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, since we moved to the new, you hopped in when we moved to the new studio.
That's so crazy.
So we're going to be at the Stray Cat Lounge in Clinton Township, Michigan on Garfield and 18 Mile. We're going to be broadcasting live, and God knows what's going to come out of our mouths.
But so drunk.
So drunk. They have an enormous Scotch selection. They
cigar
have
bar.
Phenomenal martini selection. They have an amazing cigar selection. Yeah, it's going to be a night.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And then our normal IT and the D casual social is going to be June 16th at the Hamlin Corner, right around the corner from
Right down
us.
the street.
Right down the street.
2 blocks away?
In Royal Oak. No, we're not. I'm not walking. You can walk. But we're going to be there from 5 o'clock until question mark. Just IT folks, casual conversation, no covers,
and then we'll stop by
speakers.
Here and crash the Get Your Geek On show or whoever's live at the time.
Yeah, they'll love that.
Hey guys, let me in.
Yeah, exactly. We own the place. We can interrupt your show. Like we mentioned in the pre-roll, we got 3 awesome guests lined up, and it's awesome you guys came out on Memorial Day. We sincerely appreciate it. We got Eric, Thomas, and Marcus here. Eric wrote a great blog that went viral, unbeknownst to him, or was beknownst to him, called I Hate Detroit. And he's
beknownst a thing?
Yeah, it is. Totally.
Is it like
why I hate Detroit?
I thought it was like
I mean, I do hate Detroit, but why?
Like discombobulated, like is combobulated a thing?
Yes.
Like unbeknownst, beknownst, yeah.
Yes. You know better to correct my English. We have Salathiel here who's running a steampunk con, and I just brought her in to I want to find out what the heck steampunk is and what they talk about.
It's neither steam nor punk. Discuss.
I will not define it for you.
Please, that's all I'm here. And then we got P.T. Muldoon in the house. He is the president of the Homer Donaldson Company. He was with us in the past with Terry Johnson from Original Sticks, and he turns around
God
companies.
Knows they've taken off.
Yeah, exactly. But he's a big company turnaround guy. He's been the chief of engineering for Chrysler before. He's got some great stories, and pleasure to have you back. So yeah, we're live.
Yeah, so hey, we're here in Detroit. Better than being in Cincinnati. Apparently bad week to be in Cincinnati. The story came out about an hour or two before we went live. Gentleman arrested for pooping on a U-scan machine at a Kroger.
That's so great. Please place the item in the bag. Please place the item in the bag.
Right? Yeah. I do not wish to bag this item. That's and don't get me wrong. Like I've had my own frustrations with the U-scan machine.
I hate those damn things.
But I've never gotten mad enough to go. You know what?
At least the weight didn't register. That's when we got real.
Well, no. At least it didn't ring up as an item.
I always love the ones. I went into the Meijer the other day, and it's like they got the frequently used vegetables, and right there in the middle of the frequently used vegetables is a donut. And I took a picture of it. I'm like, one of these things is not like the other.
But the crazy part of the story is that I would have never have guessed it, but the man smell of alcohol.
Go figure.
I would have never, what?
And apparently, taking a dump on a U-scan only gets you charged with a couple misdemeanors.
It wasn't even like...
It wasn't even a decent exposure.
It wasn't whatever, lascivious behavior, whatever that word is.
Lascivious.
Whatever. Thank you. But like, nothing. Like, I'm thinking about pooping on a U-scan machine just because you don't get nothing. There's nothing. Nothing happens to you.
We should actually start a protest movement.
Is that what we're doing? Did he get a fine or anything?
Nothing.
We just do whatever we want to do in case there's no fine. Like other people are pooping, so are we. Like
I think the worst thing is just getting your mugshot and that article written about you. I think that's the worst punishment.
Right.
Than the actual
then you're the guy that pooped on the U-Scan at Kroger.
You were forever branded as. You have to move to Australia. You can't even move to Australia because they'll Google you.
It's on BuzzFeed now.
How do you live that down at that point?
And then, of course, the other Cincinnati story. Apparently, toddler climbs through enclosure, climbs through gate, jumps over cliff, runs down moat that's 15 feet tall, winds up getting grabbed by gorilla. And here's the funny thing. So by all accounts, the gorilla was acting extremely protective of the child.
Until everyone was screaming.
Until everybody freaked out and started screaming and yelling, and then the gorilla freaked out.
Gorillas are vegetarians, right? They're not going to eat human meat or any other types of meat, right? I think they're vegetarians.
Yeah, but they'll still beat
I don't know.
the hell
Do
out
they
of
tell you about it? Because I feel like if a gorilla is a vegetarian, they'll tell you about it.
They're totally vegetarian.
Are they into CrossFit? Because then they would totally tell you. Did they graduate from Did they graduate from U of M? Yeah, exactly. They totally.
Yes, I did. So.
And I'm glad you asked.
And so, unfortunately, for what it's like, I'm impressed. Like, I did not know that zoos had a fast action response team.
Right? Their police are much better than Detroit police.
Yeah, no shit.
in the zoo.
Well, you're
on topic. Staying on topic.
Well, no, because apparently you can't shoot a gorilla either without getting an article written about you and bad things happening.
Does someone have viral envy right now?
But no, so they did. So, I mean, unfortunately, they had to shoot the gorilla because they said the tranquilizers wouldn't have acted fast enough, and everybody was so quick to jump on the parents. And why weren't you watching your kids? And the mom actually came out and said, look, I took a picture of my kid. I turned for a second and put my phone in my back pocket, and the kid was gone. Those of us with kids understand that's completely feasible. It happens. It's a sad thing that the gorilla died, but so I did. I mean, I went on Twitter, and apparently I pissed off Twitter because I said, "Hey, I'm just saying, I'm noticing that all the people that are cranky about the gorilla being killed weren't cranky about the gorilla being in captivity in the first place."
Facts.
and that angered Twitter, people lives greater than animal lives. Like I get it. Like,
could you imagine if the boy died? Right?
Oh,
why
didn't you do something? They would have killed every gorilla.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It would have been Planet of the Apes, preemptively.
No, but they're called. Oh, dude, I love the meme that showed up. That was it was a screenshot from Planet of the Apes, and it was like Caesar with a shotgun and a couple of things. And it was like, Caesar riding up to the Cincinnati Zoo, like, what?
Everybody's calling for the zoo's head for murdering the gorilla. It's like, could you again take it? Like, let's say the boy got killed. What would have been nuts? So, right. I mean, you're going to complain if you do, complain if you don't, right? And that's the nature.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
That's the nature of society today. Is I get to complain no matter what, right? And if your service is bad at Kroger, I'm pooping on your U-Scan. That's what we've learned this week.
No recourse at all.
Oh gosh, there's actually a Cincinnati Zoo Justice for Harambe.
Oh, there's a petition.
Kickstarter petition that started on change.org.
Oh, and that was and that was the hashtag that I cited, the whole Justice for Harambe. And I'm like, none of you people cared.
What do they want him to do? What do they want them to do for him? What is the justice?
They want him to put them back together.
Yeah. Don't be that guy.
Why I hate Cincinnati.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why I hate people that hate zoos. Yeah.
It actually actively encouraged an investigation of the child's home environment in the interest of protecting the child. Oh my god! Lady puts her phone in her pocket. Now she's being investigated by DPS.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other DPS. Like, they don't care about kids.
Just CPS, not DPS. Right. Yeah, Detroit, this is a non-story.
You're like, that's my bell.
Right. Oh, totally.
They're like, thank God.
Don't touch his bell, Nuri.
No, I didn't mean I went to... Never mind.
So I guess let's lighten things up a bit. There was a great study that came out that I'm... Hey, right. We're so going to get along well. No, there's the study that came out that said, as the rise in tuition at colleges has been happening over the course of the past few years, there's been a noted rise in enrollment at places like seekingarrangement.com, where women are looking for sugar daddies.
Be careful. The lady who is in this article is a lawyer, by the way.
Oh, yeah, she graduated law school with zero debt. Thanks to seekingarrangement.com.
I love when the Free Press writes stuff about that people have known about since they've pretty much been in college.
It's the world's oldest profession for a reason. I'm just saying. It's not... It's not a thing. Like, well, I mean, it's a thing, but it's like it's not news. Like this has been going on since the dawn of time.
George always does that. They're always like, "Did you hear about these kids and their new marijuana?"
That's right. They're smoking the pot.
Didn't Connie Chung do a thing about it like 4 years or 6 years ago? She did a whole thing on seeking arrangements. The guy who started it and everything. She followed a girl through it. I mean, everybody knows about
And
it.
after the weather, the internet is on computers now.
Details are right.
Well, like, no, George Carlin summed it up perfectly. It's like selling is legal. Is legal. Why isn't selling legal?
It's illegal to sell something you could otherwise give away for free.
Right.
Yes.
But like
the government.
And let's be honest, none of them give it away for free.
Damn dinners. Always with the dinners.
But like, what were they? It's almost like were they trying to promote it, or they wanted to like shock?
Did they get a kickback from seeking arrangement for running the article?
Shock the elderly, going, "Have you heard about this, Wilbur?" You know, like what?
Yeah,
again,
I mean, like it is. I mean, that's the part that stunned me. I'm like, why is that? Like, again, it's illegal to sell something you could otherwise give away for free. And why not just regulate it to begin with?
I'm tired of old folks acting like they never done things. That's off topic, but I'm tired of old folks going sex, but they have like 36 kids. It's like, well, how did you get the 36 kids, bro?
Oh yeah, you know, Granny was rocking it in the back of that Mercury, whatever, back in the day.
Most people's grandmas get it in.
That's right. She was in a tucker. Just saying.
They grew up in the '60s. Let's not pretend they weren't.
Right. Exactly.
And then, speaking of a bomb, Disney kind of dropped a bomb this week that they hinted at their first lesbian couple in a cartoon.
And I totally misunderstood it at first. I thought they were going to be lesbian fish. I totally did, because it's going to be in Finding Dory.
Wait, is this the whole like Elsa thing though?
No. So there's that whole petition for give Elsa a girlfriend.
Right.
But apparently in Finding Dory, there's in the new trailer that's out, there's two women with a baby stroller, and apparently the bottle drops, and both girls reach down. Oh, honey, let me get that for you. And there's a lesbian couple in Finding Dory.
Well, Ellen DeGeneres isn't she Dory?
She's
anyway?
Dory.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Who doesn't know that she's not a lesbian?
You remember when Ellen lost her show while she was on the show being a lesbian? They found out she was a real lesbian and she lost her show? That is the state of America.
Yeah.
That's why she lost her show.
She kissed Laura Dern on her show, said she was a lesbian. And
I
want
to see that.
Yep.
What?
So wait a second.
Where'd that go? I love me some Laura
takes it in a totally different direction at this point.
So we're going to boycott Target, we're going to boycott Disney, we're going to boycott Walmart, and there's nothing left?
There's nothing left.
There's nothing left.
Because Disney owns between Disney and Walmart, they own effing everything.
Yes.
So yeah, what are you going to do next? Yeah.
Can't eat at Chick-fil-A. Can't do nothing. Can't go anywhere anymore. Just
grow my own vegetables.
Grow my own vegetables.
No, you can't do that because Michigan outlawed home
That's
farming.
right. You can't have goats.
Oh yeah,
either.
no home farming. You can't drink raw milk. You can't save rainwater. Yeah, I don't know what.
Why can you not save rainwater?
That's a thing.
Did
you know that's a thing?
I know it's a thing, but
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Because
if you
you're-
save a bucket in your backyard, is someone going to arrest you?
No, it's like the guy that said if you can't put solar panels up because it steals all the sun's rays.
It's going to kill all the plants.
We're
Right.
going to run out of sun.
No, an actual science teacher.
Yeah.
Where the hell was that? Wasn't that like Alabama?
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Some rural redneck southern state. They were like, if you steal all the sun's rays, it's going to kill all the plants.
The South is
Thanks,
known for
Jethro.
progressiveness.
Of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Very much.
They're still fighting the Scopes monkey trial.
What are they, like 150th like appeal?
They're like interracial schools in 2016.
Right.
I know, right?
Okay, so Bob, and I know you went. We talked about this last week, and you went and looked. You actually wanted to buy your daughter one of the Chewbacca masks.
Oh, totally.
Because that was the thing. That owned the internet last week. And you found one for how much?
$150.
And what's the original price tag on that?
$30.
No, I don't even think it was 30.
Yeah, it was.
No,
Okay.
$30 at Kohl's.
$150 on Amazon.
Toilet.
That's what I said.
No, you hit the print button. And you,
Right.
Needless to say, his daughter does not have a Chewbacca mask.
So did you see the video, by the way, the turnaround video? Is a guy dressed up as Chewbacca in the front seat of the car?
No.
With that lady's mask on, like the printout, like you put a paper mask, and Chewbacca's like doing... like mocking her laugh, and he's like moving.
Oh,
his
shut up!
It's absolutely hysterical.
No, I did not see that.
Well, apparently, you can pick one up right now at the Troy Target for just $29.99.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I ain't going.
It's over.
Quick, go.
Yeah,
quick.
exactly.
In its 5 minutes, it was $150. Now I don't care anymore.
It was, it's kind of like the Five Guys damn guy. It's like if price of Five Guys goes to $30, I don't want it anymore. I had to buy my kid those. Stop. The damn Daniel Vans. I hate this stuff now. These kids in these viral videos.
You really did that?
I did. I got a pair of white Vans. And all the kids go like, "Damn, Gretchen!" Now at school, and it's like, I've been totally enabling this 11-year-old like sweetheart of a girl to like.
Well, she needs the valuation and love of her peers. That's really the only thing to keep her going.
Right.
And you're doing a great job.
Oh yeah, totally.
Parenting win.
You and this gorilla chick, bro. If all your friends jump into a gorilla pen, would you do it?
Now, like, hey kids, let's go to the Detroit Zoo, and then I won't watch you for a couple minutes while you're at the gorilla pen, so you can get viral on the news.
So, I want the real life pong table that's out.
Isn't that ping pong?
It's kind of air hockey-ish.
Yeah,
it's more air hockey, but it's like a pong table that like tracks the boop beep.
Why'd you just play tennis?
But it's pong.
Play racquetball. You can do by yourself.
I'm sorry, you're telling me to be more athletic? That's what's happening right now?
Yes, yeah, totally.
That's what's happening?
Totally.
Yeah, I'm not your kid. You don't get to play the do as I say, not as I do card.
Totally saying that.
Wow, and then the entire room turns against Bob.
I like the air hockey pong. I think it's a cool thing.
What happened to air hockey?
Did air hockey, but just...
I like technology as much as the next guy.
Just to have.
But like, if you could like, we're going to play Pac-Man now, and then in a field.
Do you not have the retro flashback Atari console?
Yes.
Why? Because you don't have an Xbox One?
Yes.
Well, what do you need that for?
Because better.
There you go.
If I could play Doom in real life, I would. I would have to buy the video game, which is awesome, by the way.
If I could just walk around with a BFG 9000, life would be great.
And a chainsaw, and if demons chase after me, and I could kill them.
You can do all of that in very sad countries.
You could.
Probably in Detroit.
You could probably do it in a Kroger.
It's all coming home. It's all coming home. Can we actually talk about tech for 1 minute? I know Pong kind of hit it, but we had one. It's not it's not funny or anything, but one good story came out, and I think it's kind of cool. The whole self-driving thing and having jobs coming back to Michigan. Google is opening up a huge center, not quite 100,000 square feet, in Novi. Basically, they're going to be an incubator for the whole self-driving car movement.
That's pretty cool. They've got to have like all kinds of suppliers already here, right? They've got to be working with people.
Well, the battery,
in Michigan anyway.
Michigan leads the whole nation in the whole battery development. I'm just curious, is this whole thing with is Google going to like make their own car like they tried to with the phone? Are they going to team up with Uber? Are they going to?
They're doing something with FCA, right?
It's with Chrysler with the Pacificas.
We don't need to leave it to Chrysler to make the cars, bro.
Right.
That's not the answer.
No, but I'm like Uber now is buying Mercedes for the whole self-driving car. I mean, it's going to be the next 10 years of our lives is going to be. And Dave brings it up all the time, like who sues who when you get in a car accident. Right. This whole liability
like I said,
thing.
Somebody has to be the one that writes the code that says, when faced with this decision,
do you hit the Bentley?
Do I hit the Volvo or the Mini Cooper?
How many people are in that?
The dog or the deer?
Right.
Yeah. Someone has to write that code, and that's who gets sued.
Someone has to write the code for if it says baby on board, you have to swerve out the way. Because it keeps people safe.
But if they're writing it for the company, do they get sued to the person who told them to write the code? I mean, they're just doing their job.
That I was just following orders really hasn't worked as a defense like ever.
It did on the Death Star.
when they blew up.
Well, they've already had instances of I remember there's a Tesla that they summoned the Tesla and basically it ran right into a parked vehicle.
Yep.
They've had a couple of times where these self-driving cars are already hitting things, and then who do you sue, right?
I still think the episode of Silicon Valley was the best, where the guy got in the self-driving car.
Oh, and wound up in the container,
in a shipping container
over to China. Yeah,
that show's getting phenomenal. By the way, if you haven't caught up on it,
I've
this season,
got this whole season sitting there waiting for me.
This is the best season so far. It's borderline.
Like how many dudes you can jack off at once?
Yeah, no, that was the best thing. That was the best episode ever. It's really good though.
Drop, isn't it?
As a person who hasn't seen this show, I think I'm going to miss it.
Oh no, you've got to see Silicon. Oh no, Silicon Valley is outstanding.
And what's sad, it's like it's a real portrayal of what it's like to live in Silicon Valley. I thought it was a farce. I lived there for a couple of months, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, they solved the compression algorithm by figuring out how to better do hand jobs. I mean, it was outstanding.
Yeah, that's how you answer things on television. Most people do rigorous scientific research, but on TV you have an epiphany. It's like, what?
I had an epiphany once. It turns out that was just her stripper name, though.
You'll be here all week, folks. Try the meal.
That's right. Don't forget to tip your wait staff. You're here all week.
You had to dig pretty deep to get Bob to ring the bell this time. I'm back on the code. I'm wondering if there's going to be somebody writing the code that when your 16-year-old kid is where they're not supposed to be, you can hit the return feature, the locks go down, and the car comes back.
The get your ass home button.
Exactly.
That's what I would like.
Yeah, but wait till they show up with somebody you didn't want in the car. That's
why I said you need the where's the where's your phone app, and then when your child is not where they're supposed to be, you need the get your ass home button.
Who's the liability for when you accidentally kidnap their girlfriend though? Like when they were like they show up with like 2 or 3 girls, you're like, I don't know where these 16
and then suddenly Chris Hansen pops out. Why don't you have a seat?
It wasn't me, it was the car. Why do you park?
It's an add-on package for parents they can pay for.
You need to get your ass home button and to take your ass home button. You need like a both. You need like a dual wield.
Well, that's why we want self-driving cars. I want to be able to stagger in and fall in the backseat and go home, car. I'm drunk.
There should definitely be one though. If the temperature is rising in the car, it should be a put your damn clothes on button. Okay.
Need the Virgin alarm from Spaceballs.
Starts honking, it turns on the lights.
As a mama, I'd be like, I want them to hear my voice like, put your clothes on.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. You need the broadcast dad's voice through your phone. What the hell's going on in here?
The INS, the little Nest cam, and bad things.
No camera. I don't want to see anything.
Suddenly the
car
slows down and all the lights come on.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be Bob's worst nightmare. I mean, he's got 3 daughters. They're all going to grow up looking like his wife and thinking like him.
Bad.
Listen, on another tech front,
thought on that one.
No, so on another tech front. So we've talked about this a million times, the whole ransomware thing, and we talked about it that they're starting to hit hospitals. There was a hospital in Kansas that actually went ahead and paid the ransom to get their files unlocked.
How much was that?
They didn't disclose the amount.
Okay.
They just
there
said
was another hospital in LA that paid just $17,000.
Yeah, they just said they paid the amount, but did not get access to their files as soon as they paid, the hackers came back and went, okay, yeah, we want more. So they just basically wound up having to take all those systems offline, lock and destroy those systems and bring them back up.
Untrustworthy hackers?
I know, say it isn't so.
But see, the only way ransomware can keep working is if people actually get their shit unlocked once they pay. If you basically pay...
Right, now you've ruined it for everyone else. Yeah. Now you've ruined it for all the ethical hackers that are out there. All the fine, upstanding hackers that are out there.
Did you see the guys who created one of those, Tesla Crypt, actually released the master decryption key? Said that they were sorry, and here's a thing to undo all your files.
Yeah, exactly. We're sorry. This went...
we're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. Yeah, this went far, far further than we ever thought it would. Here's the keys.
You know what I wish I got? It was more phone calls from Steve from Microsoft to open up my files.
Your computer is sitting on a virus, Bob.
Oh yeah, totally. Like you got to open up.
We're getting messages from your computer, Bob.
Right. Okay, I did everything you said, and here's what it says.
And now I'm looking at a webpage that says GFY.
What does that mean? Do you know what that acronym means?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. But hey, we're going to go up against a quick break. We're going to come back with Marcus and Eric Turner from Why I Hate Detroit. This is the ITintheD
show. Well, that's
show.
I mean, they actually have jobs.
That's their company. Come on.
We own a marketing agency that we're going to talk about.
It's called WhyIHateDetroit.com. That's
right. Is that taken?
That's actually a website. Right. There's a whole blog in it, so I know they're sick about
Oh my god!
But I think those are like suburban people, aren't they? Like running that website.
Yeah, probably.
It's all the angry white suburbanites.
Damn those Auburn Hills and Clinton Township people.
Angry white people? What?
This is
DIA out of Detroit.
This show's gone to hell in a handbasket. This is the ITintheD show, and we'll be right back.
ITintheD. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Hey, this is John Schneider from Nip Tuck Smallville, the haves and the have-nots. Oh, Dr. Quinn, hot in Cleveland.
Secret Life of the American Teenager and just about everything you can possibly imagine. And oh yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. You're listening to Bob and Dave. It's the IT in the D show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back, segment 2. This is episode 146. Happy Memorial Day. We're broadcasting live here in the IT and the D show in beautiful podcast Detroit in Royal Oak, Michigan.
Beautiful Royal Oak.
Yeah.
Bob's taking the hell out of you. Almost said Ferndale.
Bob, no, I did not. It's a beautiful podcast Detroit, and it's supposed to be beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us out online, ITintheD.com. Give us a follow on the on the Facebook and a follow on the Twitter. Shout out to Randy and Ian. I don't know if they're barbecuing or not, but they should be on the Twitter somewhere.
That's what we have them here for.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, and don't forget. So this Friday is
June 3rd.
God, 3 years. It's our 3rd anniversary of this stupid podcast. And yeah, we're going to be out at Stray Cat Lounge. Great place. We love them. Phenomenal scotch, great martinis, excellent cigar selection. For the love of God, come out and join us. Save us from ourselves. Hop on a mic. Tell us your story. Come play.
It'd be like StoryCorps, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think we're going to have to...
Like a moth and be more interesting, make it more edgy.
Oh. Now we're going to have to go see... because I haven't seen Captain America or... X-Men. I think it's a good time to dissertate, talk about some geek stuff going on.
Oh, shoot that Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Oh, Friday might be a work from home day. Anyone from work listening, shut up.
And don't forget, June 16th, also our monthly social at the Hamlin Corner, about 2 blocks away from us here in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan, from 5 o'clock until question mark. No covers, no speakers, no agenda, just IT folks talking shop, having a couple drinks. Good times will be had by all. So we are joined. We got special guests in the studio. We kind of asked them last minute because things kind of blew up a little bit. But we got Marcus here and Eric Thomas from Saga Marketing. But Eric, you made the mistake of writing a blog on LinkedIn, and your life got turned upside down. Or am I jumping to conclusions?
So many conclusions.
If you're on AM radio for 2 hours, you're pretty much you got caught up.
It could be worse. You could have wound up on Flashpoint. Just saying.
I did end up on
It's
Channel
not
4.
about you, man.
He was on Channel 4.
I ended up on Channel 4 though. I've been on the news and on the radio. I think maybe 4 or 5 times since Monday. I dropped it Monday. I was just on the news like almost every day, and then I got picked up by the Free Press, so they republished it. I was on Metro Times. I was in Deadline Detroit, and M Live. Like so, literally every day I was in a new media source or 2.
So Eric, why do you hate Detroit?
Did Dan Gilbert summon you to his audience or something?
Not yet. So here's
the Emperor commands your presence.
Here's the problem with my profession, right? So
Eric said he hates Detroit, not Gilbertville.
Yeah, no, I like him. Please cut me a check.
Exactly. Gilbertistan is what I think it's called.
Well, we don't know that Dan Gilbert definitely listens to your show.
Hey, whatever you do, if you see him at a bar, don't buy him a bottle of scotch because he doesn't drink. We may or may not.
We may or may not have found that out the hard way.
Hey, I don't drink.
All of
either.
his people do, but not him.
I don't drink either. Me and him could share some water. I guess H2O.
Right. Some dihydrogen monoxide. It's a good thing. Yeah.
Keeping it fancy.
Well, it's like Bob. Bob's on a break. He had a party yesterday. I brought him the most expensive bottle of water that I could find.
Yeah.
Keeping it fancy. Keeping him hydrated.
Fiji. Took all the water from those Fijians.
Fijians.
Right, exactly. So I guess what prompted you to write let's start from the beginning, right? And then
let's start at the beginning. So I own, me and my business partner and I, we own a storytelling agency. So what we help people do is figure out how to adequately tell their story in ways that people care about. That's what we do on the daily. And so I started blogging 1 year ago to really kind of sharpen that, because marketing and branding can be boring if you let it. And talking about community affairs can be kind of boring if you let it. So I've been trying to sharpening that knife. But one time I was sitting on a panel about about Detroit grit. And they were talking about, it takes a certain level of grittiness to do business in Detroit, blah, 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 blah. And I was on the panel. I begged to be on the panel. And so they were like, so Eric, how do you feel about Detroit? I asked them if I could be honest. And they were like, yeah, sure, Eric, you're the blunt guy. Tell us the truth. I was like, I hate this place. And so it was a crowd. The crowd was full.
Now, did that mean you were the honest guy, or you were the guy that had a bag of joints with you?
I was the blunt guy. Me in Detroit being the guy with a bag of blunts would be just the guy in Detroit. But but it was what was crazy was, and this is what blows my mind. So I'm a Detroiter. Like, I've lived in Detroit my entire life, like in the hood, not in the beautiful city of Royal Oak, Detroit, but in the Detroit. And so my entire crowd it was like a mixed crowd. You know, it was like 99% new Detroiters and a couple of people who've been to Detroit once or twice.
Right.
And so everyone was like, "How could you? Detroit is the best."
So everyone gasped. Everyone collectively.
Everyone's like, "How dare everyone?" You know, like my stars, right? And
how dare you be honest?
And how dare you? Detroit's the best place with the most murders. Like, we do the most here.
Have you been to the Carhartt?
We're number one,
right? Have you been to the river? That's where the water's at. It's like, okay, well, that sounds great. But I've been saying I hate Detroit for like a decade, like for a long time. I'm from here, you know. Like, I've had friends killed in front of my house. Like, I'm not out here like, yes, death. You know, like, that annoys me. And so I was like,
I'm irked.
I'm a little peeved off at my friend.
I'm mildly irked.
A wee bit perturbed. And so I decided to write. I wrote this blog to explain myself. So when people ask me why I hate Detroit, I could direct them. My blogs usually get about maybe 300 to 400 readers per blog. I did have a Steve Harvey post that went viral. That got 1.5 million views.
Okay.
So this is my second viral post in a year. And so that one, right, so you guys work so hard. I just write about Steve Harvey's errors. And so
I wrote a stupid blog about a comic book shop, and our site went down.
That happens. The one that you don't want to blow up,
right?
That's the one that blows up.
Exactly.
And this one was one of those. I was like, I'm probably going to get 500 readers. I'm probably going to be at the upper echelon of my average. And then we come in, and it's like, I posted at 12:30 Monday morning. I come into the office at about 9 o'clock. I look at the thing. It's got about 120-some readers. I said, all right, cool. 2 hours later, it has about 500. Marcus and I were looking at it. We were like, I was like, well, you know, it might get to 1,500.
Oh, shit.
That might be cool. Marcus said, I think it's about to do his thing again.
Eric is about to do the thing.
Like, because when the Steve Harvey one blew up.
It's not the thing.
The Steve Harvey, at one point, the Steve Harvey blog.
It's like that scene in Aliens where they're like 10 meters, 9 meters, 8 meters, 7 meters.
I can feel it tingling in my testicles. It's coming.
At one point, my Steve Harvey blog was doing about 10,000 a minute. So, so I was like, whoa. So that's what he said. He kind of felt. He was like, I think about doing that thing. I'm like, nah, bruh. So by the middle of the day, it hit about 1,500. I was like, see, no problem. But then all of a sudden, it just started to explode. And so right now, my blog alone, not including the Free Press and Metro Times, all that stuff, is at 119,000 on LinkedIn. Then on LinkedIn, I have 200 comments on LinkedIn. Then I have the Metro Times article that was shared another, like, I think 1,000 times, 4,000 times.
Oof.
Shared 4,000 times. Then you've got Deadline Detroit, which is shared another 1,000 times. You've got Channel 4, my interview was shared, I think, like 640 something times. So I mean, I'm probably up in the millions of views on this one again. And it's just breaking down the reality of doing business in Detroit and living in Detroit. And the facts is that downtown is cute, but it's 7.2 square miles out of 142 square miles.
Well, it's like our buddy Calvin that runs 7.2 tours.
Yeah, and I love Calvin.
Yeah.
That's the homie. And so we were talking about it. His kind of thing is to make it more inclusive, to bring people who would necessarily come to Detroit. His tours aren't necessarily all for new Detroiters or tourists.
No, it's for the suburbs kids.
Everybody. I mean, it is. But it's also to introduce some people. Like me, I'm from the inner city. I had no reason to go tour the riverfront. I was like, I know what's over there. Some water.
Right.
But then when I got down there, I was like, oh, wait, there's some people here. How did that happen? Where did these people come from? And so he does like a dual job, kind of balancing suburbs and people who are from here. They just gave up downtown. We're like, whatever, ain't nothing down there. But when you go down there, you're like, wait.
Oh, shit, there's hope.
Sort of.
Don't get him started. Don't get him
I had two little kids. This is my story I keep telling people. Freak me out. This is why we have to be honest about what's happening in Detroit. Because I had these two adorable little white kids. Oh, Lord, you're so adorable. I was walking across the parking lot at 12:30 in the morning, right? So I'm from Detroit. I'm walking. I'm going to get some food, go back to the office. Little girl watching me, braces on her teeth, blonde hair, adorable. Mister, excuse me, sir. I was like, hey, you? what's up? She got this boy with her, must have been her boyfriend or something, preppy little cut, parked down the joint on the side, looking like he had the money or whatever. I said, hey guys, what the hell are you doing outside right now? Like,
why are you here?
Why are you here? So I said, how old are you? They're like, 17. I'm like, okay, well, like she looked like she was about a 13-year-old like victim of like getting like the pre-abducted child. So I was like, okay, what are you trying to? She said, oh, where's the interest of the people mover? I said, first, no. Second, over there. But here's the thing. I wouldn't do that if I were you. She said, oh, no, it's fine. We just went to dinner. Detroit's back. It's great now. I went on the People Mover before. I'm going to take him on the People Mover. I was like, bruh. I was like, okay. The interest is over there and over there. But if you're going to be suburban
Whitney,
about this.
But.
excuse me, Sarah. Right? Like, it's like. If you want to do this and be suburban about this, because people from the suburbs have like you can just get shot for some reason, bullets bounce off y'all don't get hit by cars. I don't know what that's about.
We're invincible.
Yeah, you're invincible. We call it the shield of invulnerability. It's just like you guys can just jump in front of a police car, police will hit you, hop out the car, apologize.
I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I wasn't allowed to do that.
It's crazy. But so I told him, I was like, if you want to be suburban about this, that's on you, but I wouldn't do it. So she stops. They have a little micro suburban powwow. I don't really know what it is you guys speak.
A micro suburban powwow.
You guys look at each other with your little telekinesis, like, will we actually die?
They were flashing emojis at each other.
Yeah, they were like heart face, sad face, tear, poo. Yeah. And so they were like, would you not do it really? I was like, no, I wouldn't. They were like, okay, so. They go and she was like, let's go get in the car. So they go get in some brand new like vehicle or whatever. And so I go and I'm getting my food. So when I'm walking back, they're waving bye to me. They're all happy. They're those type of kids. Like,
right.
Bad things don't happen to these kids until they do.
Right.
And so
I'll say I've been going downtown to like Hart Plaza, the shelter, since I've been 15 years old, going to City Club. Yeah. Again, same thing. Bullets bounce off me. Nothing bad. Not one bad thing has ever happened to me my entire life in the city. But yet I read about it every day that it's the worst place in the world.
But that's the thing. Here's my thing. It is unlikely that you would die, right? Like it's not like we're just killing people all the time in Detroit. But what I don't want to happen is when these little suburban kids that have forgotten that things are bad, to come down there and get shot. They would shut Detroit back down. Yep. They would turn Detroit off. They would close the door. If one of these little suburban blind kids get shot,
Trump's
downtown,
wall would get built at 8 Mile.
Oh my God, it would be. Donald Trump would turn the TV back on like, excuse me, white America. They would shut it down. And so,
attention suburbanites. Attention suburbanites.
Sylvan Standard is now closed.
It's over. We will not be able to give you chicken skins. But that's a really real concern for me. When these new restaurants are opening, they're closing just as fast because they're not talking about population. They're not talking about income per capita and density. If you looked at they had right next to Shinola, there's been about 8 things that opened up there. There was a barbershop, there was a bar,
it's been closing and opening so fast.
Because what's happening is that we're not having genuine conversation about it. Because if they opened something for people in Detroit, they would stay open.
Wait, so is Jack White's record shop that?
Hell no. But Jack White got long money, right? If you're just a guy opening the barber to like John Varvatos, John Varvatos is empty 900% of the time.
Because when you're selling $100 T-shirts, kiss my ass.
They got the little beanie I saw one of the beats was like $98. Okay, so I'm bougie. The people who are listening to me, can't see me, but I have a shiny ass ponytail and wear John Varvatos scarves. Oh, there's video, so you'll know.
There's proof.
I have 2 John Varvatos scarves. I got them for 60% off. At 60% off, they were $150 a piece. I spent $300 on half off.
My ass.
That's not for the Detroit audience, bruh. That's not what it's for. And so that's the problem. If we want to have a genuine conversation about doing business and building things in Detroit, that's great.
But did you hear Detroit Save now? Because we have a Nike store.
Oh yeah, never mind. Never mind. Sorry,
closed.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's out. We out. Everybody back out. It's a reverse. That's what we're talking about. And so as an agency that does storytelling, and we work with companies in the city, out of the city, we work with companies in New York, yada yada. But a lot of our Detroit clients, when they come to us, we end up talking a lot about economic viability. Who is your audience? Why? My business partner over there, Marcus, is an economist, and so he's always like, okay, let's talk about the money. He's been an entrepreneur since he was 6, and so. And like a real one, like an investment club. Not like selling candy to buy stocks in McDonald's. Like some weird stuff like that. At 6, though. And so
It's a very normal practice.
It's not. He's a weird kid, right? And so he's like, okay, how many of these whatchamacallits do you need to sell to be viable economically?
Yeah, what's
And
your ROI?
No one's having those conversations in Detroit. They're like, come in this boy, Dan Gilbert will anoint you, then you'll be profitable. Then they come in, their business is closed. They're like, I don't think this
What
is for
happened?
me. Right? That is dangerous because what you could do is you could crush that actual
That entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah, absolutely.
Spirit. We have the number 2 highest small businesses being opened in our city. What's up, sir? And we have the highest unemployment. What's happening is like if every single person opens a business themselves, who the hell are they going to sell it to? Because they're opening the businesses to make the money to sell to the people who have the money.
To each other.
So they're
Yeah.
going to be like together, like, man, I hope you can eat these Skittles. Like, that's it. That's all we can sell.
I will trade you Varvatos t-shirt for 3 orders of ribs.
It's going to be a bartering system.
No, but Eric, I'll be honest with you. I've been watching that Woodward corridor when they built CompuWare. That my buddy's architect firm did that whole lofts at Woodward Row or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's been sitting there like that empty for 20 years. It's nice to see now that actually stuff's happening. Granted, it's on a longer scale.
It's great, but it's a block.
But it's a block. You're
Like,
correct.
That's what people don't understand about
You got to
Detroit.
start somewhere,
It's
though, and
big-
branch out.
See, but here's the thing about the nature of inclusive development, and I'm going to be that guy, right? You find me a city in America where inclusive development ever happened on its own. Where Chicago was like, where downtown Chicago was like, we need to invite the south side of Chicago into this redevelopment.
Nobody went to Bob's neighborhood and in Auburn Hills and said, hey, we're thinking about putting a Walmart in. What do you guys think about that?
But it's a much smaller place. Detroit is bigger than like New York, right? I'm talking about like the 7.2 square miles that's developed in Detroit is 5% of the city.
Yep.
Not like 30% or like 20%.
It's huge.
5% of the city. 5%. Like if you see my analogy in the story, that's like buying a hamburger with everything on it, eating the sesame seeds and saying you like hamburgers. No, bruh, you like sesame seeds. Like you have it. A 59% on something is an F.
If you want to know how big Detroit,
5% of something is not registered.
If you just did not attend.
No, if you just want to know how,
margin of error, bro.
If you want to know how big Detroit is, just take 8 Mile from Livonia to Eastland Mall. That's all Detroit.
That's Detroit.
That's Detroit.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And you're just talking about one street. We're talking about that's wide and deep.
Right.
Like all
and then go to the water from there. Yeah.
That's a lot of like, well, we forgot about that part. You know, like you can't forget about, because you have to, this is my favorite thing that suburbanites do. So join me on this party. How you going to include Metro Detroit but not include the actual Detroit part? Right, you gonna say, "Oh no," but Royal Oak is part of Detroit, but they be like, "But I don't know about 7 Mile."
Well, no,
like what the hell? Like that's Detroit,
dude, and that's the part. That's the part that kills us. Is like we've been running events downtown for 15 years now.
Yeah.
When we first started trying to pull people downtown, you would have thought we were trying to take people to a rave in the warehouse district. like we literally got like, oh my god, well, nobody wants to get their car broken into.
Lose a kidney.
Oh yeah, why don't you we'll park in Royal Oak and why don't you take a bus down? And we were running here's how sad, dude. We're running an event at Hockeytown Cafe, so inside the 7-2.
Oh yeah, inside the safe part,
dude. And we had hockey and Illich's and all that fun stuff got us a block of tickets to the Red Wings Vancouver Canucks 2 weeks before playoff season hit. Hot ticket, hot game. Again, you would have thought we were inviting people to a rave in the warehouse district. Well, why the hell would we go downtown?
We wrote a blog called Suburban Kryptonite to tackle that because it was kind of like, are you guys kidding me? This is something. What is wrong with you?
Perception is real. I think that's why the storytelling agency is so interesting to do. If you read the blog, if you read that blog and any of the other blogs I wrote, Lies the Hood Taught, or any of these other things about perception, because I wrote a few blogs about just branding and marketing, but I read a lot about perception.
Yep.
Like I called them the Oregon terrorists when they took over that that thing, and all of a sudden they weren't terrorists, they were just rebels. But every time a black kid picks up a bag of soap, he's that gorilla they had to shoot. Right?
That's right. They wanted the abolishment of all federal services, but they were asking people to mail them supplies.
They're literally terrorists and socialists, Right. They're like, I need people to supply me with the goods because we can't work for our own good because we need to get rid of all of the state's funding for everything. please donate all of your stuff.
Right. Well, no, what did they say?
That's not our address because we took it over because we're hostile terrorists with guns.
No, did they say like if you're white, it's a militia. If you're Arabic, you're a terrorist, and if you're black or Mexican, you're a gang. Like the same activity, right? Just how the
but
media
it's not the
perceives
same
you.
activity. And like if black people are gathered together in holy matrimony, all of a sudden you're a gang. And white people are together with rocket launchers and AK-47s. This is a seance. Like this is a prayer circle. I'm like, wait a second. Oh my God. How is this happening?
Suddenly went from a wedding to a fatwa, like that.
but that is what perception about. That's what storytelling is about. Like, so we're on an IT show, and I joke with our engineering folks and our IT people because the IT people are so straightforward. They're looking at the specs, right? They're looking at like how does this thing fit into the thing. But the majority of America isn't looking at it. Everybody's looking at how does the circle fit into their perception of what circles mean.
Right.
And so they're looking at the city not as it's 142 square miles. Most of the people aren't bad. There's a couple of dangerous folks, but for the most part, it's a city. Right? Like everybody not trying to get you. Like we have super polite gangsters.
Dude, I lived in New York. I lived in Manhattan. I lived in Boston. I lived in D.C. There are parts of all three of those cities that I would stack up against the worst parts of Detroit.
Oh, some rough parts. And that's the thing. But we're not looking at it like, oh, well, here's a bad part, but here's a great part, and here's some things we can develop. We're looking at it like, no, I was watching the news, 2 kids got shot, which means all kids get shot.
Oh, CNN said Detroit was bad.
Yeah, like I know CNN. Anderson Cooper looks just like me, and so I believe him.
Right.
It's like, wait a second. Anderson Cooper's way more beautiful than you. Like, don't compare yourself to Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper is a silver fox. Now, god dang it.
So when you're working with companies, how are you selling? How are you trying to get them to look at the long term of things? I mean, you say you talk about them and trying to.
So storytelling. So this is I'm gonna get. Sociological right here.
All right.
Storytelling is the way that we've always conveyed ideas. If whether you're picking up a girl or where you're trying to get a job and all that kind of stuff. But like one day we just stopped doing that. Like in like the 50s we got to like business speak. So you look at everything and everything's in technical writing. But we've never communicated that way. Like ever in life. We've never gotten a job by just our resume. We get the resume, we basically go on a date with our future employer, and then we convince them that we're the guy or girl for the job. But when we get to our like corporate brands, it just becomes this weird like, I am cell phone company A. Purchase cell phone because it fits in pocket B. It's like, what are you talking about? And so when you start like a small business, everybody goes that way. But if you look at somebody like Pepsi, like what the hell is Pepsi selling? Like Pepsi is selling you like carbonated death and hate, right?
Sugar water.
But then they're like, psych, no, love.
Dasani.
Yeah, Dasani is selling you literally water.
Coke, it's summer. Come on.
Right?
Coke is selling you a smile and like,
we have to get back to
Trying to
that.
have a Coke and a smile and shut the up.
We have to get back to being conversational with our customers.
Yeah.
But we also have to get back to being I would say and I've only been on the show, I haven't been able to hear the show, but for the second I've been here, I would say their success is attributed to the fact that you guys are people. This isn't like an NPR podcast like, and today, technology is on the internet.
Today we'll be talking about optimizing SQL Server queries in a LAMP environment in the cloud.
And Kurt Schweddy.
He said none of us ever.
Nobody, even the people who know what that is. I remember I spoke on human design at CompuWare one time with Mobile Mondays.
Okay.
And so I was talking about how we should reevaluate the different. Oh, we were talking about reevaluating the idea of mobile versus like responsive versus adaptive design.
Right.
And so I don't believe in either of those. I think you make your products to fit the human's experience of the people that's going to use it. I don't care if it's mobile, responsive, or not, or whatever. And the one guy literally who came before me, he was like, well, responsive is harder, so don't do that one. Right? And then the other guy came up after me, and I believe he literally gave people a tutorial of how to do like CSS or WordPress or something. Like it was like and then I go to the top and click. And everybody was like, oh man, yours was great. Like people were getting texted like, oh man, I love yours because you were making people think and opening their minds.
We're always doing these exciting talks, like when we're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
the guy before us, we were at an industrial design conference. The guy before us was talking about vacuum cleaners. And then we go on there.
He's the product designer from Bissell.
Yeah, it was great.
We spoke between Bissell and Pepsi. Like it was Bissell, Bose. Like this was the lineup that we were speaking.
So you had
Bissell, Bose, Phillips.
You were
Pepsi,
bookended
Saga.
by Suck.
Yeah. but the people who were speaking were big names. Like it was a big deal. And so, but they were presenting like the stuff that the people already knew.
Right.
Like when you're technical, like I don't need to break down the MySQL server to you. You got the sauce on that. The question is, how are we thinking about those things? And that's what we do as an agency for people. Because sometimes when you're so close to it, you just can't do that. And that's kind of what's been happening with my writing and my blog. And that's why I went viral twice. The first time, Steve Harvey messed up Miss Universe. And I said that was a design flaw. In the card, when you saw the card, it looked ridiculous. It was all over the place.
Oh, it was a horrible design.
So I wrote a blog that said, this is design, fundamentally, it was flawed. This is why I redesigned that. And within the first week, I had 1.5 million views on my blog post about design. About, like, Miss Universe answering card design.
Yeah, exactly. Nice, simple, clean UX.
You know, simple stuff.
Yeah.
But when you relate it to like the normal human experience, that's what sells. This is my Detroit. Why I hate Detroit? I have about 95 to 98% people who are on my side. And if I would have told you 2 weeks ago I was writing a Why I Hate Detroit blog, you guys would be like, they're going to set you on fire.
That's what I was going to ask you is the backlash.
No, I would have told you based on my experience. It's going to be 2 to 5% that are going to light you on fire. And unfortunately, that's who you're going to focus on. Because, I mean, that's it. I went down the rabbit hole of hate.
But I've got all positive reviews for both.
Every single person that's bumped into Eric over the last week has thanked him.
Literally thanked me. I had a guy.
Thank you. They don't even say his name. They just walk up to him and say thank you.
I had a guy from Daily Detroit cut through a crowd at Startup Week, grab me by the hand, shake me, look me dead in the eye, and say thank you.
Jeremiah did that?
Thank you. I believe so. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know Jared.
Right. He was like, "Thank you." I was like, "What?" And that's been my experience all week. People saying you have encapsulated.
All week.
Yeah, there's been some very pretty girls who really are down for writing. In case anybody wants to get into journalism, my business partner is a pretty boy. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I've been pulling him off this writing. You know, like his T-shirt is tailored right now because he goes to the gym. And this girl, like it was me, my business partner, and this other really cool guy. He's a music producer and a designer and a web developer. With a beard, cool guy. This girl walks past both of them, walks up to me and says, "Hey, really liked your article," like rubs me.
And touched his arm.
I'm like, thank God. This is what I need to do to get girls because push-ups, like I didn't do push-ups
I will
clearly.
blog your brains out, baby.
I got blogs for you all night, you know. But that's been the experience. Because what we did was we used what we know as a business.
Yep.
And encapsulate that into these ideas because everybody's been saying what I'm saying. It's not like a new like I said, there is a website called Why I Hate Detroit. It's a real thing. It's a real sentiment. I'm not the only person that felt
No, but I read it and it didn't have a whiny tone to it, which is a lot of the things I read that have this kind of crabby whiny tone, and it was evident that wasn't your MO going through it.
No, I wrote it 3 times. The first time I wrote it, I was just screaming. I was just like, Detroit is bad for people. The second time I wrote it, I was like, it's still so bad for people. The third time, I was like, this has not worked. Okay. You know, I was like, let me gather my thoughts, make an outline, present a case. And then at the end, you see, I was like, and these are people doing it. I'm not saying that there's nothing good in Detroit. I had one lady comment, he didn't say anything about the good stuff or the people. I'm like, the whole 1/3 at the bottom is about the people and the good
you
things.
say you love the people. Yeah.
I love the people. You know, and it's not like I have to like fight with her about it. Literally 1 million people have read it. Just ask anybody who was on Facebook, right? But it's just about looking at the world. I spoke, and this is a hardcore, I spoke at Shinola very recently about the topic of reality for Creative Mornings. And that was hard to do inside Shinola. And they just heard me. They're like, how dare you?
No shots fired.
No shots fired. You just know that's not real. But
that's all right. Me and Dave have been banned from speaking at the Detroit Chamber, so we know that, you know.
Oh, really?
Oh, totally.
They deserved it. You knew who you invited to talk.
Eric and I are hopping on the road tomorrow to Mackinac.
You're going to Mackinac, so it should be great.
Oh, boy.
That'll be fun for you.
It'll be great. We're
They keep asking us. We're like, no.
Media badges?
Yeah.
So what does,
no, they keep asking us, and we're like,
what
no.
does an economically viable company look like in Detroit? What is a company that's going to survive that doesn't have long money if you want to be a small business person?
You gotta, first of all, you have to realize that you have to sell things.
You got to sell outside of the state.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you have to sell. If you're going to sell to people in the city, you're going to have to sell it at a very low cost. If you're going to sell to people out, but if you're going to do like a business service base, you're going to have to sell it to people outside. And what you have to do is, and what people are just blowing my mind about, you have to hire people in Detroit. You have to hire Detroiters so that those people can patronize other people. When you open a row of businesses and everybody from that row of business or from outside the city live outside the city, even when you pay them, it doesn't go back into the town. No one can, like, if you open like a deli and then like a clothing store and then a shoe shop next door to each other, but none of those people are inclined to buy anything at the other places,
Right.
then you have no cycling of funds through it. You know,
Right. Eric, let me ask you a question. Maybe I'm being presumptuous, but I think Detroit's got a huge advantage to open up. I bring up Green Dot Stables all the time as an example. And if you open up Green Dot Stables in Clinton Township on Hall Road,
It dies.
It would be it'd be like a Denny's.
Here's the
you
thing.
put it in Detroit, and all of a sudden it's like amazing.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
But
You know,
aren't they reasonably priced too?
They are.
They are. Everything's
so-
$3.
And I'm not just talking them. I'm talking Sapinos. I'm talking Cold Cash Gold. I'm talking all these places that, you know, you got Lockhart's and Royal Oak. Now, one person says one thing about that stands up to Slows, but you got Slows in Corktown that, oh my God, Food Network. And,
That's Phil.
yeah, but people love Phil. But that's
no, he's a good guy. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
If you're going to take advantage of the fact that you can do things at a low cost, because you are able to have lower standards in Detroit. That's facts, right? Like if your waiters don't show up, it's like, I mean, we're in Detroit, right? That's a thing. But if you're going to do that, you have to do it for the people who live there, so people can repatronize you. Like if you look, like in the article, I talked about how we have low income per capita because our household income is about $24,000 and something for a 4-family household. So that's what people don't realize. When I say that money, they're like one person is making that. No. It's $25,000 basically split between 4 people in the house. 71% of those homes are single parent, which means it might be one person splitting $25,000 between the other 3 and themselves. So what is left to spend at your stupid, like,
Exactly.
$100 T-shirt
Exactly.
store?
What is left?
You know, when I went into Shinola, I bought my wife a watch. She's been bugging me forever, so I finally caved and bought it for her. And first thing out of her mouth, "Where are you in from?" And I kind of looked at her. I go, I'm local. And it was like, then I was kind of like taken back, going, "What do you mean? Where am I in from? Is this like a thing?"
Because Detroiters
It absolutely
don't go in
is.
there.
Yeah.
Who's gonna buy that stuff? I went in there. I was gonna buy a wallet. I was trying to be bougie. I walked out that boy with a notebook. I think the wallet.
Bob's got his Shinola notebook right over
No,
there.
yeah, because that's all I can afford, right? I think the wallet was $250.
Yeah.
I was like, but I don't have $250 to put into this wallet, so.
And that should be the decision point.
Yeah, what's my decision point?
If you're
My
spending
wallet
more
costs
on the
more than
wallet
money
than
I
you can
have.
put in the wallet, don't buy the wallet.
I heard a statistic, was it last week, that they said that people will pay up to 4 times more for an item if it's been made in Detroit, just for the Detroit name, which is an okay short-term business plan.
Sometimes.
Right.
It depends on where you are. Trust me, this is the other thing that we need to talk about. There are businesses in Detroit. Let's stop pretending that, like, first there was a barren wasteland and then the white man descended.
Exactly.
You know, like, there were things here. Like, what are you talking about with the Detroit?
Then it was Mad Max Fury Road happened, and then Dan Gilbert showed up.
All we had in Detroit was stuff that said Detroit. Like, if you went to any place in the hood to go to a store, everything said Detroit branded on it. Right now, I made the mistake of Googling the Detroit logo because we've done some project with the city. So I wanted to Google the logo to add it to something. Do you know Shinola's logo showed up on the first page? Shinola's logo shows up when you Google Detroit's logo. Wow. It's like, wait a minute, what's happening here? But that's what marketing is for. That's why we tell people we're marketing agents. We do this brand development. We do storytelling. You really have to understand that that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand how real that is. Dan Gilbert and Shinola almost single-handedly, like just together, completely changed the entire paradigm of what Detroit looks like nationally. Those two guys, and they did it with a marketing campaign. They didn't do it with the actual investments. They did it when they invested and marketed. Because Illich has been investing for a long time.
Exactly.
He just didn't have commercials. That's the difference. The fact that they said, all right, time for some marketing. So that's a shameless plug, everybody. Call me marketing. But that's a real right. But that's a real thing. You have to market this thing that you do well. I talk to a lot of we have a lot of nonprofit clients because a lot of nonprofits want to tell their story.
Eric has a heart.
Right. I think marketing is dangerous because you could sell cigarettes if left unchecked. Right? And so but all the good people, like all the people who are great engineers and great IT people and nonprofits that help the kids, they say this to me all the time. Isn't it superficial to talk about your successes? Well, here's the thing. Some asshole is out here promoting their BS.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to take your clients.
Yep.
And then they're going to drain the budget to nothing. They're not going to do the job. They're going to come to you and ask for a discount because you were so busy being humble that idiot destroyed your budget. So your job has got to be to market the thing that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
If not, you're going to always be that guy when they come to him and go, hey, we had a couple of guys working on this, but then...
And then...
They didn't do it, so if you could do it for the low and the next time...
We'll hook you up the next time.
We'll hook you, we'll pay you the next time. Until the next flashy guy shows up.
Because it's all about the experience and exposure.
That hair salon video's got to be one of the best marketing videos in the history of humanity.
Oh, if IT worked like the... Yeah. Oh, that was outstanding.
Do you know that one?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, if IT was like other industries, and it was like, person sitting at it wasn't just hair, it was like...
record shop,
Yeah,
there's
sitting
a few
in a
other...
salon chair going, okay, well, I'll pay for your hard costs, like the color... But your time, we'll make it up the next time. And then the bar, we'll pay for the shots, but not the drinks, and we'll make it up for you on the next round. It's
That's how I started out being a graphic designer. They do graphic designers like that all the time. Most artists, they hit you with the. I got a cousin.
My 12-year-old could do this.
One time.
My 12-year-old could do this. Can build a website.
I keep telling people, you got to go find your nephew then. I don't know what to tell you.
And when they screw it up and you come back, my price will double, just so you know.
Just so you know, because I got to fix your nephew's whatever logo. Because now you're attached to it. This picture of the bubble guppies that's doing a backflip over Spider-Man.
That's right, this thing that's wrought with copyright violations that now I have to fix.
And it's always for something stupid. Everybody wants their logo to be just they want it to be like the entire journey of the customer cycle through their thing. It's like, what do you do? Well, I have a website that focuses on IT. Oh, fantastic. So what do you want the logo to be? Well, I want a guy walking into a store, but then going up to the counter, and then there's a guy who's going to respond to him in a pleasant way, because I want my customers to know that I'm polite. And then after that, they're going to get a ticket. They're going to go wait in the area. I want the logo to then wait 45 minutes. It's like, wait.
But it's got to pop. It's got to pop.
It's got to be red and also
white. A little more blue. Just a little more blue.
Cornflower blue.
Yeah.
Right. If it could be red and blue and red, but at the same time, but not separately.
But not too blue or too red.
But it's got to feel good.
Yeah.
It's like what?
It's got to convey the message.
It's got to do all that. This is the question I ask people all the time. Who goes to the doctor and tells people what to remove? You just go in there and say you hurt. You let me worry about how to fix what hurts.
That's right. I don't want to be I don't want to go get my MD before I go figure out why I have the sniffles.
Exactly. There was a thread today on Reddit that was like, what's the worst thing you ever got told in your profession? What's wrong? And the first 30 of them are all medical. And it was all basically people like, I did my research. And he's like, I think my 4 years of residency trumps your 12 hours.
My 8 years of school and 4 years of residency.
I was on WebMD.
Trump your 35 minutes on WebMD ass. Yeah.
I was on WebMD. My thigh itches. I have cancer. Remove the leg.
Clearly, I have Ebola.
Remove the leg, and I also want lettuce. I need lettuce to cure it. It's like, what are you talking about, man? This is not how that works. And that's what they do. That's what they bring us.
I think okay, note to self, we need to have you guys back in when we can dedicate an entire effing show to you, because this is awesome. I love this talk, but we are so over this segment. And not over that. We're not over.
We're tired of this crap.
No, we're over. Yeah, screw you and screw no. This is over time. So
if this was WJR, the jazz music would have played about 20 minutes ago.
An hour and a half ago. Yeah. So where do people find you guys for your marketing company? Like, how do people how do people engage with you? Because clearly they should.
They should.
The best way, Saga, mktg.com. And also, to get the sort of experience, just follow Eric on Facebook. Oh, my God.
The Eric experience?
Eric.
Follow me on LinkedIn if you need things.
Follow him on Facebook. And
LinkedIn is for the blog.
As well.
Facebook is for the ranting.
There you go.
Well, I got to talk about LinkedIn is my office. Facebook is my living room.
Oh, I guess. Oh,
facts.
I got one random thing we got to, I guess, tell people about. Every Friday.
Oh, you should not tell them this.
He said it
on the podcast.
For the dumbest reason in the world, every Friday we host Steak Friday, and we offer it to everybody.
Where is Steak Friday?
At our office.
Our office is downtown Detroit. So suburbanites, you're clearly not welcome.
We've been doing this for a year.
I'm coming down this Friday.
It's dangerous. Don't come get all this free.
Y'all best stock up.
Tom has been twice. Tom,
Please email first, internet. It's important.
Everyone's messaging like, what
Eric
time,
at
what time?
Saga MKTG. Email.
Okay, it's not ribeyes, it's not thick and juicy, and all right.
It's not delicious. It's not made with a down south recipe.
It's Steakum Friday this week is what I'm hearing.
I like Steakum.
This is Bacon Bits Friday for everybody.
Baco's Friday is what.
And our publicist lady, she always wants us to tell people that we are Cranes 20 in their 20s for whatever reason.
Yeah, we got the Cranes 20 in their 20s.
Oh, wait. Yeah. But we snuck in because it's 21 and 20. They made us. We broke the rules. They gave us one slot.
We're rule breakers.
Because what the hell. Right?
That's okay. Bob was 40 under 40, but the actual award ceremony was 3 days after his birthday.
Hey, I slipped in.
There you go.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Salathiel talking about the Steampunk Con coming up. This is the IT and the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT and the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D show.
ITintheD.com. This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D show.
Welcome back. Happy Memorial Day from all of us here at the IT and the D show. This is episode 146, and we are broadcasting live here in Podcast Detroit in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. It's Bob the Sales Guy hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Like we said, find everything you need to know about us, ITintheD.com. Couple events coming up. Hit the Meet tab. That's MEET, not MEAT. And you got all our events going on.
We're still not selling the private label meat sticks.
Nope, I'm working on it. I'm working on that.
We need Monday night meat sticks.
Yeah, I'm working.
Steak Fridays, right? To go
and then Steak Fridays.
So I'm in.
Y'all gotta stop telling people. This is an open secret, ladies and gentlemen.
When that goes viral on LinkedIn, you're in deep
trouble.
But hey, getting back on time, we got Salathiel here running a steampunk con, and I said I need to know more.
So it's Motor City Steampunk.
Motor City Steam Con.
SteamCon.
Yes, Motor City Steam Con.
They're not punk enough.
Simple for you.
They're not punk enough.
Oh, we're punk. Because, that's on the down low.
Steampunk.
Oh.
It's Motor City SteamCon, punk.
Yeah, like Mr. T. Motor City Steam Con.
I pity the fool.
So probably a ton of people out there who know what cons are. They've been to cons. Like everybody in town's been to UmaCon or heard of UmaCon.
Right. Or Penguicon or this one. Yeah.
Or Penguicon. That's a very close.
Wait, what? Who? What? Penguins? What?
Yeah. So how is Motor City SteamCon different? And what is, I guess, for the people out there who have lived under a rock their entire life, what is steampunk?
Oh my God. Okay, so everybody has a different idea of what steampunk is, and I'm not going to define it because that will get me hate mail.
Because then you're wrong.
Right, exactly.
Did it start somewhere?
All
like
I'm going to say is that it is steampunk. The actual genre itself started in literature. It was started by people like Tim Powers and of course I'm blanking all the names
so it's basically the alternative timeline universe.
It is. It's alternative history, but it's based about like Victoriana and that period of time.
Right.
So I would say it's alt history, and people like to cosplay it and build and do things within that time stream.
Because it's minus modern technology, but with modern technology implements designed in a alternate universe where like electricity doesn't exist per se.
Not necessarily.
Because it's blimps and all that kind of stuff.
Not necessarily. You can still have some trappings of technology. There can be electricity, because electricity can be something that's discovered by mad scientists or things like that. But it's stuff that takes trappings like you said, steam or invented like fuel or invented power sources.
There's a lot of corsets in steampunk. I'm a huge fan.
There are, yes. Oh my God, you guys do not slap a gear on it. It's not steampunk if you slap a gear.
And if you don't have goggles, you're not steampunk enough.
Oh right. God. You guys, for the steampunks in Detroit, I apologize. I am not saying this. They are.
See, you're going to get the hate mail anyway, so you might as well just dive in.
Exactly.
No, so I mean, what? Because we do. I mean, we know, and Nuri obviously knows what a pain in the ass it is to run events like this. Like, what led you to, hey, I'm going to roll this con out? And honestly, I don't, is this the first year, second year?
Okay, so sheer insanity. I was just thinking about this today. No, I love the steampunk community here. Michigan has such a vibrant community. We don't have one just in Detroit. I mean, we're all over the state. We have one in Lansing, Monroe, Jackson, Flint, the west side of the state. There's all these little steampunk communities, and we really love getting together, and we really love, doing DIY projects and just having a sense of community. So about 4 or 5 years ago, 6 at this point. World Steam Expo. The creator of Youmacon actually started World Steam Expo, and it was phenomenal. I mean, we had all this response. We had all these people come, all these bands, like international bands, like local people from like the west side of the state that are really into steampunk, west side of the country, and it was just this great thing. And it lasted for a few years, and it got bigger every year. And then there's just some seismic shifts went through the community, and World Steam Expo went away, and there was kind of there were a couple cons in between that tried to fill the hole, but it just wasn't the same thing. So last year there was no convention, and I've been around this whole time. I had a steampunk themed bookstore called Off the Beaten Path Books, and I had that for 6 years, and I did a lot of stuff in the community, a lot of events and things. And when the conventions went away, it's still such a strong community. We would go out of state. We would go to Ohio to conventions. We go to Wisconsin to conventions. Like, we travel because we love what we do so much.
When people have a passion about something, they will find a place to do it. So
I decided to kind of pick up the ball and kind of just tell a steampunk story from the D instead of so much of steampunk is like Victoriana based, like, England, Victorian society. And that's fine. And that's great. That's one part of it. But there's so many other like multicultural things you can do within that alt history. I mean, America was around during that time. There were like other countries were around during that time. So you can show a perspective that's not just from an English perspective. And that's what we're trying to do with this one. I'm kind of telling a little bit more of a black perspective a bit, because the journey starts. I mean, there's going to be aspects of like the southern journey to the D, like during the time, because it was like the Paris of America during that time, the Detroit, because everybody was coming here. So I kind of want to have that journey of like what it looks like from an American side, not just a Victoriana side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the date of this event is?
It's July 22nd through the 24th.
And so how many people are you what are you expecting attendance-wise?
Oh my God, I don't know, because
that's always the worst part.
Don't ask me what you think. Well, okay, so oh my God. So in the past, I like I said, World Steam Expo, I don't have exact numbers on that, but I know the attendance was well over like 400, 500, 600. It was really well attended. Okay. So, and then attendance went down some for the other ones, but I mean, just from the amount of excitement we've had, I have no idea. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea.
That's always the worst.
But at Comic-Con and all these other places, I heard such enthusiasm. Like, I heard the con mentioned more than I thought.
There was a huge steampunk presence at Motor City Comic Con.
Yeah,
we had a couple booths set up. I was actually floored. Like, I noticed it was a bigger thing this year than in previous years.
It's been at PinkoCon too for years and years. Like,
and then we had our party this year, and we had over 500 people come to our party.
Oh, you had a party there too?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Your party was great. Your party was great. But we had over 500 people come to our party, and we even won like best drinks. Because we have there's so many people into steampunk, like the Rusted Crow Distillery in Dearborn. They sponsored our party. They're also sponsoring our party at the con. Their spirits are amazing. Their alcohol is amazing.
They put our speaking panel up against the steampunk band. We had like 3 people attend.
At Midwest Media Expo?
Midwest,
Can't want.
So, I mean, it's just there's so many people that are really embracing the genre that it's great. It's great to see all the things that, people want to contribute, people want to sponsor, and I love it. I mean, we had such a great time at PinkoCon. It was amazing, and so many people were like, we didn't even know you guys were doing this. This is great. So I think we're going to have a really, really big turnout.
So, what sort of, so I mean, it's a couple days, what sort of events are going on? What should people expect if they decide they want to attend? That sort of thing.
Okay, so the whole theme of this one is we're calling it the Motor City Nexus. And a nexus is a resting point in your travels. So this con is all about the journeys, whether you're going towards something or coming back for something or just taking a break in the middle of something. You're going to be able to, see something naughty. You're going to be able to, maybe learn something. You're going to be able to have a good
Wait,
show.
take a step back. I'm intrigued.
So I call this the steampunk Mos Eisley, because it's there's a little bit
You'll
of
never find a more wretched hive of
exactly. But, so we definitely have a daytime track where it's kid friendly, lots of panels, music. We have demos where you can learn how to fight and do different things with umbrellas and, the old style Victorian fighting.
Right.
the nighttime track, we're going to have concerts. We're going to have Victorian erotica readings. We're going to have like parties. We have a cabaret that's 21
And then I
up.
unlaced her bodice.
That's bodice, but it's part of it. But I'm just saying, we definitely understand that when people come to conventions, yes, they want to have family time, but at the same time, we're grown-ups.
Right.
And we want to be able to party after hours. So we have a whole bunch of stuff for everybody. It's really great. We're going to have like teas. We're gonna have a cult tea where people read tea leaves. We're gonna have like gin tastings. We're gonna have like alcohol, everything. We have a bunch of different things we're doing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's at the Livonia Holiday Inn Conference Center.
Dude, I love that hotel.
I know, it's amazing.
That's the one with the big indoor pool, right?
Yes, the
And all
indoor
rooms
pool.
face indoors?
Yes, and the
Oh,
atrium.
my God, I love that place.
It's so great. We're gonna have like.
All right, so you're like, why the hell does this guy love that hotel? I've done convention planning before, and we threw an event there. And it's just
yeah,
super
sure.
cool
You're just at the hotels all the time for convention planning.
and in Backpage.com.
My story, and I'm sticking to it.
When Nuri says that, he has, yes.
It's not just that we're going to have a Backpage and stuff.
No, it's great. The layout of that place.
Backpage plug.
The layout of that place is great because you have the central atrium, you have this pool area, you have all these balconies, so we can do all kinds of decorating and hanging of
Throw
stuff.
stuff from the balcony into the pool.
Well, Nuri said that, not me. Livonia Holiday Inn. But
The hotel event planner's like, wait, what?
no, and the great thing is the hotel was so unsure because the last con they had was like a furry con. They're like, they were like, we're going to need you to get all the rooms. So the good thing is we have the whole hotel to ourselves. So
Yeah, because we don't want random people exposed to this nonsense.
At least this time there's no like green fur in the pool.
Nothing wrong with a little yiffing. It would.
I don't know of what you speak, but
Yes, you do. You're fully. You've been on the internet.
Anyway.
No, so okay. So I mean, I guess I'm looking for a basis of comparison. Like Penguicon, there's like 500 hours of programming in 2 days.
Okay, so basis of comparison, I guess we can do Penguicon. Penguicon is a little bit different because it's a fan based sci-fi.
It's a multi-dimensional track
with
program
like
base.
the whole with the whole IT part of it mixed in. With steampunk, it's more going to be about. We have a really strong literary track. We have a lot of authors because to me, that is still steampunk to me. It's the literary side of it. We also have a lot of hands-on demo. We have a maker room where you can walk out with an LED, whatever, or you can tear apart stuff and make your own stuff because DIY is also a huge part of steampunk.
Which I think is why I like steampunk so much. There's like such a craft element to making costumes and things. It's so cool.
We have hands-on like I said, weapons or fighting demos where you can actually fight. And we're more like it's not so much just sit at panels. We do have panels, but we're very hands-on people. So we wanted to do stuff that actually was kinetic and actually gave you something to do or gave you something to walk away with.
Now, will there be the opportunity for like me, aka that guy, that like wants to just come in and like buy everything to suddenly be steampunk?
Yes, there will be.
Like I want to come buy the goggles. I want the duster. I just want to come buy it and be done.
I want to
with it.
look like Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Exactly.
With a gun.
Exactly. That's right. I want to come in. I want to drop like $600 and be like the coolest guy there.
You're like a vendor's dream. You're a vendor's dream. I will take you to the vendor room and I will just shove you inside and be like, he wants everything. No, yeah, of course. Like we tell people that's one of the things I love about steampunks too. We're very welcoming. If you come in and like dress like you are now with your Imperial whatever or like your Rogue thing
Rogue
Squadron on, you would be welcomed. And by the end, you'd probably be wearing steampunk stuff over it or something.
Well, yeah.
But you would totally be welcome. Nobody would think twice about it. But yeah, if you come in and you have no pieces, you can walk out full regalia. We have all kinds of vendors with everything there.
You're going to go head to ankle and then wear Adidas sneakers.
There you go.
The checkered Vans.
No, you
checkered Vans.
You get one time for the word regalia.
That's one time. No, but yeah, I mean, you can wear spats over your sneakers too, so you don't even see your sneakers.
Perfect.
But no, it's very welcoming. It's very much you can come in there and you can walk out with whatever you need. And I mean, as far as like, you might learn something too, because we have some great panels on the history of the times. We're even doing stuff like LGBT stuff during Victorian times, like all kinds of. We're trying to be very inclusive of everything.
Because ironically, it was far more accepted then.
In a certain way, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just a little bit of something for everybody.
So now, and the important question: what does it cost somebody to come to this event for the weekend?
Okay, so right now we have an early bird special for the entire weekend, which is $55, and that gets you in for like That's all the panels. That's all the bands. That's
It's cheap as hell.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a con suite kind of like Confusion or PinkoCon? Or
We
no?
don't. So Steampunk doesn't really do con suites,
Okay.
but we do have a tea room where for $5 a day you can have tea and scones and tea, like everything you want, like for $5 a day. So, what?
You don't make no money.
No. Here's the thing. I mean, it you would think we don't, but it's like catering to the people is like important, and we've found ways to do it because we have sponsorships and things like that. So
Right.
it does make it more acceptable that way. I know. Thank you, Eric. We will talk. But so we have we have the early bird. If it gets up until the month of, then it goes to $65. We will also have day passes when it gets closer. We're just selling
Right.
registrations now. So, but yeah.
I believe the links are on Twitter. I think Randy did post them, so we'll post the links on our recaps as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of intrigued. I want to go. And what's the dates again?
July 22nd through the 24th.
I'm kind of thinking we need to
And
be
there's
there.
other things we
It's
have
the week
too.
before
I mean,
Mexico. I'll be in town.
All right.
Oh, Mexico. But I mean, we have like 3 teas that are specialty teas that people pay for. So it's like we have a top of the morning tea, which is an Irish tea that we do with all of that. And then we have a occult tea, which is we actually talk about occult things during Victorian times, and someone will read your tea leaves and everything.
And then the Mr. T.
And then the Mr. T, who could is a fool.
Don't forget iced tea.
Oh yeah, iced tea.
So yeah, no, we have. There's a
Filled
lot.
with ice cubes. Sorry.
Also, like I said,
When the joke
Saturday
ends.
night. Just doing a little soft shoe while you guys.
Hey, don't mind us.
Okay. Anyway, Saturday night is our midnight cabaret, and that's the 21 and up cabaret. And we have some of the best burlesque acts in Michigan are going to be there. We have a sideshow guy who's amazing. We're going to have someone doing, light poi and everything. We're going to have it's just going to be amazing. It's great. We have dancers, everything.
I'm intrigued.
And then after that, we have a rave that we're doing, like with the kind of electric swing and things like that. We have a DJ from Chicago, DJ Vortek. He's fantastic. He really brings a great show, and it's going to be awesome.
Interesting. All right. Okay. So, and then obviously the most important part, URL for people to go buy tickets and that kind of stuff.
Yes. Buy tickets. Do it.
Well, but what is it?
She doesn't know what a URL is.
Your website.
I'm sorry.
Have the internet back.
Give you the money.
Oh, my God.
Your universal resource
I literally
locator.
thought you were saying, we want people to buy tickets, and I was like, yes, please.
Your hypertext transfer protocol address
Our
is.
website is...
Yeah. What's the IP address of your website?
Thank you.
See,
The
again, we had,
website
every now and then the IT has to show through.
Can you let me say it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
www.motorcitysteamcon.com.
Awesome.
We also have a Facebook page called Motor City SteamCon Fans.
Okay.
All right, so they can look it up there, and we have all of our information there.
Very cool. Well, absolutely throw the links out there. I'm intrigued. I think we have to go.
Slate, appreciate you coming out.
Oh, thank you.
It sounds like, you know what, I joked a lot, but it sounds like fun.
Maybe do a podcast there.
We
could make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we could.
We have.
We may or may not.
Would you wear corsets?
We know.
Let's be clear. Okay.
We have male corsets.
Leave
We can put you in some corsets. If they look like vests, it would be amazing on you. Your
You
back
guys
would
need
feel
cameras
great.
to show their faces. Oh my god!
I'm gonna go with not only no, but hell no.
Now, let me give a quick impersonation of the laces if I wore a corset. Yeah, exactly. You're like, no.
Uncomfortable, but you will be sexy.
No, we'd love to do. Honestly, we know a couple of guys that own a podcast studio that have remote gear.
Have remote gear. They totally make that
may or may
happen,
not be able to make that happen. So yeah, we'll make some phone calls.
Can we make our microphones into like dirigibles or something?
Oh, wait. I
have
also
a hand
forgot,
card
because
for the
this is IT in the D. One of the things I'm really excited about, too, is I have a friend in Wisconsin that has a 3D company, and he is bringing out some Oculus Rift stuff so that people can do the 3D experience. And he has external things that will give the whole experience of like almost a 4D thing, like you're actually there. So that should be really, really great. I'm actually really excited about that
Interesting.
myself. Yeah. So
Okay.
I slipped some IT in there.
He's gonna run up and just throw a bucket of water on you while you're on Oculus Rift.
You're walking through a heavy rainstorm.
So real.
Or if you're standing on the edge of a building and suddenly a wind blast goes by.
Turns the fan on.
Then they push you off a chair.
But hey, we're bouncing up against the break. Thank you for hanging out with us. We look forward to seeing you at the event. We're going to take a quick break and come back with PT Muldoon, talking about venture capital, turning companies over, about what's going on with original sticks. And this is the IT and the D show, and we'll be right back.
IT in the D. Read, meet, listen. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the ITintheD show.
ITintheD.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Welcome back. Happy Memorial Day. This is episode 146, the final and fourth segment of the IT and the D Show, the number one ranked technology podcast on SoundCloud this week.
This week.
This is Bob the Sales Guy, hanging out with Dave the Geek, Nerdy the FNG. We're recording in our brand new studios here at Podcast Detroit in Royal Oak, Michigan. Find us online, ITintheD.com. And without further ado, PT Muldoon is in the house. You are the president and not the founder. The founder is Homer Donaldson, but of the Homer Donaldson Company, right?
Yeah, Homer Donaldson, Hudson, Michigan.
But we had you on probably over a year ago because you didn't even go to our Ferndale studios. But you were working with Terry Johnson on the original Sticks project.
Yeah, and Terry's still out there. We still help Terry from time to time, and Terry's doing a great job, just kind of hammering away and trying to build his dream of original Sticks. So I think he's just signed a deal with the NHL. So
did he really?
Yeah, things are starting to happen for Terry.
Yep, good for him.
I mean, I wanted to come on with you guys because it's Memorial Day, and we talked before about just the whole rebirth of not only Detroit, Metro Detroit, but the whole country. Right? Talk about how we put things back on their legs, and now I'm the president at Homer Donaldson. We're a small company. We were established in 1945. We're in Hudson, Michigan, which was it's this great little town. South of MIS, you find them on the map, kind of the southern part of the middle of the state, and we've been around for 70 years and have survived some of the most amazing challenges. Most of our industry, we're in wire forming, so we're on the technology side, feeding the automobile industry, and we're kind of we're the last parts that go on a car. We do exhaust hangers and pencil braces and different suspension components, and it's a really cool story about the transformation of a town and how, I work for a company called Talon that buys companies and they're a long hold. So they're not in it for a quick turnaround. What they're in it for is to put legs back under little towns, all over the state of Michigan is mainly where the companies that they buy and hold are at.
Well, those towns kind of like live and die by these companies, right?
Yeah.
150, guys work there, and all of a sudden the town shuts down or the plant shuts down. Town's dead.
The bars that feed the guys after work.
Yeah, the lunch places.
Well,
everything.
it was kind of, Eric hit on this really cool point, which is, there's all kinds of people coming into Detroit, and they're logoing it up, and it's a quick turn, right? You're going to make a buck. But if you go back to when Detroit was really awesome, my dad's generation, coming home from World War II, little towns like Hudson where somebody like Homer Donaldson stood up his company, we were making stuff. We were making stuff that mattered, and we were competing. And, in this little company that I'm working with now, we're competing. We're competing against Mexico. We're competing against China. We're winning work. We do a good job. We're very proud of what we do. And, that's why I really got excited when you invited me down on Memorial Day because, Detroit, we're the arsenal of democracy.
It's the arsenal of democracy. That's
yeah, we really are. And you know what? All those people.
And everybody forgets that.
Yeah. And all those
You're
guys,
welcome, World War II. You're welcome.
But you know what? All those guys and all the girls, too. All the Rosie the Riveters.
Rosie the Riveter was great, yeah.
That built the bombers and built the tanks. And, I worked over a Jeep truck on Plymouth Road where the first helicopters came out. All those people are still here in Detroit.
Yep.
And guess what? We're the sons, the grandsons, the great-grandsons of those guys. All those skills are still here. And it's like, you watch the logoed up stuff, but I want the real stuff.
Yeah.
I want the good stuff, right? When the manufacturing jobs come back in
Shinola,
Michigan and Detroit.
cute. Varvatos, cute.
And no disrespect. It's cool that they're here, and they're awesome people, and I wish them all the greatest success. But show me the factories.
Yep.
Show me the trade school. Show me, and that's why I wanted to come on the show and talk about Homer Donaldson because, hey, guys, we're still standing, okay? We're open for business. We're looking for opportunities, and there's more like us out there. And there's really cool companies like Talon that are saying, you know what, I'm not here for the quick buck. I'm here to invest in communities and put these small companies, and we're 100 guys.
Right.
But in our small town, 100 guys is a lot. We shop at we go to the gas station. We go to the McDonald's. There's a couple restaurants in town.
But cost of living, I've been talking for years about outsourcing rural. Don't go to Mexico.
Right.
Don't go to China. Like you can put it in Hudson or anywhere in Michigan, for example. There's some really cool SATCOM companies in the middle of nowhere, Michigan. Have a couple hundred guys work, and again, it keeps those towns like going. Great, you saved a couple bucks importing and all that, but again, I think there's a whole huge picture about saving these towns.
Yeah. And when you talk about turning around companies, what you're really talking about is turning around people.
Yep.
You're making people believe in themselves. Every kid in this country is not headed to college, and it's not the right move for a lot of kids.
And that's okay.
Yeah, we've got across from us is a technology center called CSI, which is Center for Science and Industry. Okay, awesome guy. He was a Paragon tool guy. He's teaching these kid trades and pushing them all around. We're using some of his kids, the Lenawee ISD. We work with them. It's another trade school in our area that's pointing these kids in a direction where they can make an absolutely great living, have a great life, and move forward with it by learning to work with their hands, by learning to weld, by learning to program, by learning to do all the things, from a robotics standpoint. They're competing in the robotics challenges. They're bringing these kids in that would have hit trade schools back in 1945 at the end of World War II. It's awesome stuff to watch these kids develop.
So now, doesn't that almost though go against the message that you hear the loud vocal proponents of Detroit and Michigan giving though, which is, all right, Michigan needs to find another industry. Michigan needs to lean more on tech. Michigan needs to lean more on medical. Michigan needs to lean more on innovative and I know it to be true, the reality 101 is there's still that huge manufacturing base here that's needed and still viable.
Yes. And as that develops, all the rest of it comes along with it. So if you're starting to work on putting robotics together in Detroit, guess what?
You need
you're
people building parts.
Okay, yeah. You're going to have people writing code. You're going to have people doing the IT side of it and looking at the physical hardware portion of it. Okay? So instead of trying to manipulate it, what we need to do is compete again. What we did at the end of World War II, okay? We competed. Greatest generation.
Yep.
Okay, we competed. We came, we rolled our sleeves up, we hung our signs out, we went to work. My dad came here he served, he was a CB. My uncles, they served, they came back. One was an airborne, the other one was a radio guy in Burma, okay? They came back here, they worked for Fisher Body, and then they hung their own shingle out in Detroit. And if you listen to my dad talk about it, you couldn't even rent space in this town because everybody was busy and everybody was working with one another to try to build it back up.
If you go to, we go to the Rotskeller all the time on McNichols and John R., and you just drive down that street and go, God, I wish I could see what this looked like in 1940.
Yeah.
Because you knew
my dad,
it was bustling.
My dad describes it, you had to have roller skates in this town. Because as soon as the sign went up, for sale, for rent, it was already gone. You either moved or you lost. Because everybody was connected and they were working together. And so, we're producing right now, we're producing parts for Tenneco, we're producing parts for Forcia, and they're investing back into U.S.-based companies, Michigan-based companies, and it's a cool story. And it's not getting told.
I was going to say, so why is that story not getting out there more? Like, why are you only hearing about...
I don't know if it's not sexy enough or what, but, we got a Facebook page. We talk about our employees. We interact not only with our customers, we interact with our employees, we interact with our customers' families, right? So we're using social media, we're using LinkedIn, we're using Facebook, we're using our website to talk to all the people we deal with, potential customers, existing customers, but also the community. When we give a bonus to our customer or to our employees, we buy a gift card for the local market.
Right.
Okay. It's great because it puts money back in the local economy. It connects our people, in watching other companies, I mean, we're not alone. We talk to a lot of other companies in the area that are doing the same thing. They're starting to look and say, how can we reinvest in the community? How can we reinvest in people and build this back up from within?
And manufacturing is one of the best places to do that, actually. Of all the industries out there, every dollar spent in manufacturing, $1.40 is added back to the community.
Yeah.
It's the best way to revitalize small towns.
And I cringe when I hear Michigan companies can't compete, because it's not true. Okay, come look at us. We're small scale. We're 100 people in a very competitive, very tight margin game that largely has moved to China and Mexico, and we're winning quotes, and we're doing a very good job. We put a lot of effort in the technology side of it, in developing that portion of our business with our customer. And what our customers are starting to learn is this: they can come down to our place and talk to us because we're local. They can send an engineer down and work directly with us and develop additional technology.
Yeah, you're not dealing with 8 time zones away and language
Correct.
barriers.
Well, there's got to be a pride of it too.
Oh, there is.
I mean, not only that, again, if you're winning quotes, I mean, it's got to be part of your marketing plan. It's got to be part of your pitch. It's got to be part of the whole. It's a compelling story.
Yeah.
And again, it's like you got to think about when you're buying, Mr. Purchaser, more than that 0.01 cents you're saving per part. You got to think about more things than that. It's the whole. It's the Callahan Auto Parts, right? You're going to shut down a whole town,
Yeah,
Mr.
Tommy boy,
Mr.
right?
Mr. Zelensky.
Go on the road
Yeah.
and, hey, look, you want to meet the people who produce your parts and care,
right?
And I mean, that's really what we're marketing in Michigan. We're marketing, the connectedness that we have, the commitment that people have to what they're doing, and I, like I said, the arsenal of democracy, right? We launched bombers in 6 months at Willow Run? Nobody ever did anything if you mentioned something like that, you'd be laughed out of the room. That they were going to go from concept to stuff running off the end of an assembly line in 6 months to support an
That's not possible.
Oh, yeah, in a million, and it's going to fly? Yeah. Really?
So, Pat, let me ask you a question. I don't know if you guys are on the forefront or even thinking about it or talking about it, but, the maker's economy is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody says we're in the infancy now, kind of like 1976 personal computer. Well, we're not there yet, but we might be there in 8, 12, 15 years, where 3D printing, it's going to be basically manufacturing is going to go back in the user's hands. What's your thoughts? I mean, is it real? Is it
For us, it's real because we're looking at it as a tool. We're looking at it from a fixturing standpoint. So we do a lot of hollow tube work for the automobile industry, and we're looking at being able to make fixtures on the spot and make engineering changes that can be tied only to data. So if you have a printer in your office and you design the details for your fixturing, your fluidity for changes is flawless, okay? Boom. You want to make a change, you want to make an adjustment real time, make a fixture to match up. That's the magic for us because, okay, now we can make adjustments in tools and we can be checking parts and shipping in a week instead of 6 weeks or 8 weeks that it used to take to produce stuff. And we're small scale. I mean, when you look on the larger scale at weld lines, body panels and that kind of stuff, the opportunity to make replaceable fixtures or blocks that can be 3D printed and dropped in for an engineering change, boom, okay, it makes us faster than anybody in the world. So the guy who grabs that grabs the hill.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, for me, I think about it as a huge change in just the trade deficit with China when this stuff starts to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, because again, you don't need to outsource anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's here. You seeing the same thing?
What I'm saying is the opportunity to compete.
Sure.
Still got to beat them. Face up. You still got to compete with them financially. But you do that by finding edges in technology. And that's what we're doing at this small company. We're looking at our quality. We're looking at our bottom line. We're looking at how quick we can get from concept all the way into production so that we can deliver value. So that a company like HoDoCo or a company like Forcia, who has to compete against other companies around the world, by using us, gets an edge, right? So that's what happened at the end of World War II. We gave people an edge. We gave them a reason to build here, okay? We don't need to subsidize. We don't need to babysit. We don't need to hold people's hand. We need to stop giving everybody a freaking ribbon, okay? You got to fight for your food.
Ding.
Yeah, we got to teach this next generation that, okay, it matters. It matters that you compete. It matters that you care what you're building. You sign your work. you do a great job, and you pay attention to who you're competing against. And that's what's made America so great.
Especially in manufacturing. The NAM says that there's going to be 3.5 million jobs over the next decade that are unfilled in manufacturing because of skills gaps.
There's 600,000
right now. All the kids to college.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And that the average...
I want a lot of kids to go to college, but I want a lot of kids to go to trade school, too.
And the average manufacturing job pays almost $80,000 a year when you factor in benefits, which is a damn good job, right?
Yeah.
That's
and one of the things that we did at our little company is we really focused on how we treat our employees. So we upped the benefits. We improved the way that we treated our employees and their families. Okay, we made it a part of a team approach so that it's a two-way street, right? I hear it all the time. Well, what about loyalty? Well, the way we get and retain really good employees by being loyal employers, by treating people with respect. Okay, it doesn't mean I can overpay for a position, but I can make sure that the people out on my shop floor are not laying awake at night wondering how they're going to make their medical payments.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we have some pretty low skill positions that are entry level, but there's a path. There's an opportunity for my employees to go all the way up through the CNC side of the business and make a great living. And there's enough employees on the floor now that have done that. My plant manager started out in the straightening room. Okay, worked his way up from the base, and he's an awesome plant manager.
Wait, so you're expecting people to pay their dues and work their way up?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem very millennial.
Everybody doesn't get a ribbon. I would like that to become like a logo for Michigan. Okay?
I plunged toilets in my first IT job. That was my first IT job. So I had a key to the closet, so when a toilet overflowed at night and there was no janitor, I was in my khakis and my shirt plunging toilets, and that's how I got started. Anyway.
It's a hell of a story. I mean, and it's one that's not it's not getting told. I mean, you hear more about the 2 and 3 person startup shops, running downtown than you hear about
the toilet line app.
No, I want to hear about the Talons of the world who are reinvesting in communities, okay, and helping people learn how to do a great job and compete, and are patient enough to wait for companies to do the right thing and to build, and that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Channel 7, I know you're watching, and I know you're listening. Not watching because it's a podcast. But, I mean, you want to start, talk about leading your news with – you don't have to lead with this, but enough with the 2 kids.
You want to have better news stories? This is how you have better
enough
news
with
stories.
the 2 kids getting shot to lead. Let's start talking about, working with the community because, I mean, they have more power as a media organization than we like to give them credit for, but they do. It's, this is the stuff we need to talk.
Yeah.
Again, it's dire.
Again, CNN stopped talking about Detroit chaos,
porn,
and mayhem.
ruin porn, right?
Yeah. This is where it's at, and I don't understand.
Google's getting talked about it because it's Google, but nobody's talking about Homer Donaldson Corporation. But
right.
There's he's going to hire more people than Google probably will in Novi.
Yeah,
right.
Twitter moved to Detroit. They had an office of 2 people,
3.
Yeah,
and it's in Birmingham.
And all over the state, there are substantial companies that all they do every day is get up and do the chores
and make stuff.
They make stuff. Okay, I mean that's what made us amazing. That was the differentiator. End of World War II. I mean, one of the things I love about this company started in 1945. End of World War II. In a garage, one guy. His name was Homer Donaldson. I get here, and there's no reference to him. There isn't a single picture. We go into the archives. We go to the little museum down in Hudson, Michigan. We dig up every picture we can find of Homer Donaldson. I can tell you right now, you walk the halls of my company, you'll see Homer's picture. My coffee mug says, "What would Homer do?" Okay, because here's this guy who,
eat donuts.
Yeah, here's
wrong
this,
Homer.
Here's this guy that end of World War II hangs his plaque out, hires a couple people, starts working out of a garage. Gets in his truck, drives the Chrysler Corporation, which was in Detroit at that time, and gets his first job. He made visor rods for Chrysler Corporation, 1945. And I'd like to hear more of the stories about the companies that have been here 70, 80, 90, 100 years and have fought through all the crap.
Right.
I mean, the last time I came on, we talked about, Terry and the manufacturing base and really going after stuff here. And, that's what we need to encourage. We need to encourage the companies that do the chores every morning. It may not be as glamorous, but I'm telling you, it's a cool story.
The foundation hardly ever is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to talk about the pretty rooms and walls and windows. They never want to talk about the foundation.
We're way past. That's all right, though. It's a good show.
But there's one thing we have to do before we go today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Erica Carlson's birthday today.
Erica's birthday today.
Aww.
Happy birthday, Erica.
Happy birthday, Erica.
We love you. Thank you.
So, all right. So, where do we find your company, and how do we find you online and find out more about what's going on?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Homer Donaldson LLC.
I saw 50 likes. We got to do better. Go like Homer Donaldson Company.
Yeah, come on, guys.
We will flood the hell out
help us
of it.
get some love. And our website is www.HoDoCo.com, which is Homer Donaldson Corporation.
HoDoCo.
Yeah. And we're on LinkedIn. And just give us some love. And if
awesome,
we'd love opportunities to quote. We'd love opportunities to partner with people. We do a whole bunch of prototyping for a lot of different companies, and it's led to a lot of great opportunities for our company. And we're there's not a job that's too small for us, and there's certainly not one that's too big. We're hungry and our pencils are sharp, and we want to be a part of this. We want to be a part of the whole movement, and we want to get connected with other companies that feel exactly the same way.
Awesome.
I mean, let's be honest. We only brought you back because you wore that big, huge cowboy hat.
Now, you promised me. You promised me I could read a poem if we.
I did not. You said you were, and I go. There's no way you're serious.
I'm an amateur writer.
There once was a man from Nantucket.
This is a memorial. I'm an amateur writer, and I've had some stuff published. But this is one for Memorial Day,
and
it's for my dad.
I thought you were joking.
No, this is a little love back to the city of Detroit. So it's called "The Men Who Work Steel." And I wrote it for my dad and all the legendary men like him who worked with their hands. They forged a nation, and they taught us all a lesson to craft with our minds, our hands, and our hearts. We're the sons and the grandsons of the men who built the arsenal of democracy. And it is their blood that flows through our veins, and their skill is our sacred birthright. And this is it. Men sporting hands that are calloused and strong. Their stories are legend, the skills, the real deal. They forge and they form and they hammer and weld. They built us a nation, these men who worked steel. Learned from their fathers, neighbors, and friends, sweet skills that developed over time to find feel. They crafted from nothing but blood, fire, and sweat to make what is lasting, these men who worked steel. Once we were challenged, our freedom saw threat. Great factories tooled for the challenge was real, and arsenals built by their skills and their sweat. Freedom was won by these men who worked steel. With passage of time, we must rise once again, take back our vision, and make the dream real, to pass on the skills from those who still know for this next generation of men who work steel.
Awesome way to end the show.
I should have had like Glory, Glory, Hallelujah playing in the background of something.
Hey, it's Memorial Day. You know what?
Flag drop behind you.
Right.
No, it's a great way to end the show. Appreciate it. PT Muldoon, awesome hanging out again.
I love you guys, and I appreciate it. And like I said, we're out there, and there's a lot more like us. And you know what? We love watching you guys grow and, having a place where we can come talk about what we do with our hands.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to wrap things up for episode 146. You're going to get a recap online of all the guests, all the links, all that good fun stuff. This has been one of my favorite shows.
It's been amazing.
It's always like, holiday, we're recording a show, but no, I do this all over again. Yep. This was great. On behalf of Bob, the sales guy, Dave, the geek, Neri, the FNG, again, we salute all the fine men and women that have given the ultimate sacrifice to protect our freedoms. And happy Memorial Day to each and every one of you.
And come join us this Friday.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see you Friday. So drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you guys soon. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
Murphy. Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Yo, a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Fear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.